All right, welcome everyone to Canyon View Credit Union Mortgage webinar. Today we're talking about first-time home buyers and more. Just before we get started, you can ask any questions you want, and Heather and George are here to answer those. The way you can ask them is just on your panel, the GoToWebinar panel. You have a questions section, you can ask it there, and then it comes over and we can answer those. So go ahead and ask those as we go and we will answer those. And with that said, I'll turn the time over to Heather.
Thank you, James. I always appreciate you and your time in helping us set these up. So I'm Heather Bollinger with Canyon View Credit Union. I've been here 11 years and 30 years in the banking industry. And I have George Warner with me. He is with Element Real Estate Brokers. He's tried to retire from real estate a couple times. But
yeah, 35 years in real estate in Nevada. I recently relocated to Utah, which has always been my wife and my dream to come to Utah. And found out, I'm not ready to retire totally.
Well, I'm glad because then you're here with me today. So I have invited George to be on this webinar with me. The credit union is doing some financing of some very affordable townhomes in Cedar, and George helps with the selling of those as those projects become, or as those townhomes become available. So today we're going to go into being a first-time home buyer, or maybe you haven't bought a home in a long time and just need a refresher on how things work. So we're gonna go talk about, let me go, yep, that works. So we're gonna talk about our available loan programs. The credit union does have several in-house products that we do, including our first-time home buyer program that we'll go over in more detail. And then your standard conventional and FHA. We can also help you with lot loans, construction, jumbo loans. We've got some amazing rates and products in all the categories, but we have really amazing ones in our jumbo category right now. But we're gonna go to the next slide and we're gonna talk about our first time home buyer product. So the credit union developed a product, so it's an in-house product, it's not a government product, and we've helped many first time home buyers with this. So I'll tell you a little bit about the details of it. You can do up to 100% purchase price financing, and you are responsible for the closing costs and escrow setup, but only $1,500 of that has to be from your pocket, your vested interest. The rest could be a gift, it could be from a seller credit or maybe an agent credit. And if you have a larger gift, you don't have to finance the full 100%, or if you have money to put down. And the other really great thing about this product is it has no mortgage insurance. So it helps you get in oftentimes with much lower loan costs than, say, a government loan, and you don't have the mortgage insurance to worry about refinancing to get that off of there. So let's talk a little bit about getting ready to buy a home. And so
buying a home for the first time, for those of you who have, if it's your first time, it can be a very exciting but stressful time. And stressful because there's just so much you don't know about. But programs like this really help relieve some of that stress. And I find it's extremely important that you really develop a team of people that you can trust. When we bought our first home, we went to our family, we went to some work associates to find out who, we should go to put together this team, which is really made up of your real estate agent, your lender, and your title company. And if you have a good team, it makes that stress a lot less. And we can go into some of those later.
You're right. So buying a home is a wonderful experience, but there's a lot of emotion, so it makes it so it is a little stressful. You want to find the right home for you. So one of the first things that you want to do is talk with a mortgage consultant. And when I'm talking with you, I'm going to go over your budget. I'm going to go over what you're budgeting for a mortgage payment and just your whole picture. I definitely do not want to get you in a position where you are house poor. It needs to fit with your overall budget. So then once we find a payment that works, then we'll back that into what that looks like in for purchasing. And it's going to be different depending on the type of property you buy, such as something that might have an HOA versus something that doesn't. And then whether, anyway, so we'll go over, we'll back that into what it looks like for purchasing and the different types of properties. Then once you are comfortable, you're ready to move forward, then we do an official application, and then you have a pre-approval letter, which I just call the golden ticket for you to take to an agent.
Yeah, and that is really, really critical. Sellers need to know that you are qualified. And starting off by that consultation, which Heather mentioned, is critical first step, because you don't want to look at homes you can't afford. You're just wasting your time and everyone else's time. So make sure you know what you can afford, and then they won't even look at your offer unless it's pre-approved. That's first two steps.
Yep. So then finding a home, and we'll go over this I think in the next slide too, but my suggestion for you when you are home shopping is to find homes that you like, do your due diligence, look at them on Google Earth, see what's around it, and then go drive to the property before you have an agent schedule a time. I remember when I was first looking to buy a home in the 90s, the very first house that we pulled up to had train tracks through their backyard, and I was like, we're not even going in. And then the next house, these are all in Woods Cross, and the next house was right next to I-15, and I'm like, I'm not even going in the house. So from that experience, I learned, do your due diligence and see what's surrounding the house, and check out the neighborhood, and then call.
Yeah, great advice. I mean, you really need to feel comfortable with that neighborhood by visiting. I was an appraiser for 30 years, and when you do an appraisal on whether it's commercial or residential, you really have to be at that property and know everything that's around it. Because when Heather said, yeah, you might have something right out your back window, you're going, I can't deal with this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We can go to the next screen. Okay. So on the credit union's website, we have a home search that is a live feed with the Utah MLS. So it's up to date, it's real time. And then you can also, if you do register for that, you will be contacted by Derek Power, who's an agent with Exit Realty. He provides that service for us. And he'll reach out to you and see if you're just shopping, you're looking for the future, whatever it may be. And then he'll also let us know, the mortgage consultants at the credit union, to reach out to you if you would like us to. And so on here, it talks about finding a realtor that you trust. And so you do want to find an agent that you're comfortable working with, that sees your vision of what you're trying to find. Joy just shaking his head yes. So
they can really give you some guidance. These would be someone you can really feel comfortable with, that's been recommended. Or you got to have a good relationship with your agent.
All right. Go on to the next slide. Okay, so there, in our first time home buyer program, I talked about that you need to have a minimum of $1,500 out of pocket, up to loan costs and the escrow setup, but we discussed that there are ways to help with those costs. But there are a lot more factors of things that affect your payment besides your loan amount. So you want to take into consideration whether or not that you're going to have HOA fees. We might have a product that does have mortgage insurance. And then different counties, different cities within even Salt Lake County or Washington County, different cities have different tax rates. So those kind of fluctuate, but when I've had people looking at, say, Draper versus maybe Lehigh or American Fork, Utah County has typically been much cheaper than Salt Lake County, and it may make the difference in whether or not you can afford a home. So you might be looking something in a purchase price of $350,000, but you can have a totally different payment depending on what the HOA fees, the property taxes are, your homeowner's insurance. And then your credit score plays a big factor in your interest rate, and it could all play a factor in your homeowner's insurance rates and your mortgage insurance rates. So there's a lot of things that affect your payment, but I will help you narrow that down once we know what your budget is and help you take these things into consideration.
Yeah, I found in my experience with dealing with some of my own children, who some did not have the best, credit score, that a good lender that you feel comfortable with can really help you get that back in shape. I mean, you may need to get it up to guide you and let you know what you need to do to get it in shape so you can be prepared before you buy that house.
That's so true. I've helped many people raise their credit score, and just by little tweaks. And that's why we start with a consultation and not a hard credit pull. And I'm going to take the information that you give me on your credit, and then I'll help you make adjustments, things that you can quickly do. There's been times where I've had people that had money, maybe $15,000 to put down on the home, but we used a portion of that to pay off some small maxed out credit cards, and then use the first time home buyer product, and then their monthly cash flow improved by doing that, and we were able to get them into a home. So I'll help you use the resources that you have and to guide you on little tweaks that you can do to increase your credit score.
You're going to get counsel that once you get that credit score up and you're in the process, the actual final process of getting this thing done, don't go make any purchases.
Yes, please.
Don't make any purchases.
Okay. All right, so this is just an example of how your credit score could affect mortgage insurance. Just to give you an idea on say like you're putting 3% down, your 97% category. If you have a 760 FICO, you are going to have versus a 700 FICO. 700 FICO is a good FICO. It is a really good score. But when it comes to if you need a product that has mortgage insurance, then it's significantly higher than having a credit score of 720, 740, or 760. Anyway, just something to point out, to be aware of, and why we will help you improve your credit score.
Real quick, we had a question come in from Allison. She asks, what is PMI?
PMI is private mortgage insurance that would apply to a non-government loan. So FHA, like FHA and USDA loans are government loans, and those go off of a different, most of the time those mortgage insurance, it's not private, those mortgage insurance premiums are not something that come off your loan once you hit 80%. Private mortgage insurance is when you have a conventional loan, and your mortgage insurance will come off once you hit 80%. So it's much, anyways, that's the difference between private mortgage insurance and mortgage insurance.
Okay, and maybe that answers her next question. Is Allison asks, is there a difference between mortgage insurance and home insurance?
There's a huge difference between mortgage insurance and home insurance. Home insurance is just like your car insurance. Home insurance is something that you shop for, and that is what protects your home in disasters. Yeah.
Any damages?
Damages, there you go. Yep. Interesting side note, I was having a conversation with my mother last night who had some plumbing issues and it did some drywall damage. And so she was talking to her homeowner's insurance company, and the homeowner's insurance helped repair the damage, but doesn't fix the pipes that were broken. And my mom she didn't understand that. And I said, well, Mom, homeowner's insurance is not a home warranty. There are home warranties available that would help with that broken pipe, but that's not what homeowner's insurance is for. So mortgage insurance protects the lender for, what am I trying to say? It for the loan to value. So it helps protect the lender for the loan to value in case of default. Homeowner's insurance protects your home. Hopefully that answers. That was a long answer to that question.
No, thank you. All right, and I'll just move on.
Okay, I started to say this a little bit ago when we were on the payment page, and I realized I was on a different screen. So this is some things that you want to take into consideration besides your down payment, your loan costs, and your escrow setup at the beginning. So if you're purchasing a brand new home, you might have to, well, most of the time you're going to need to do window coverings. You might need to do your front and backyard, maybe just your backyard. You might need to put gates up. There's different things to consider when you're buying new. And then also things to consider if you're going from maybe a small apartment to a larger home. Are you going to need additional furniture?
Yeah. Houses are a lot bigger than most apartments, and you don't want and need additional furnishing. And when you go to a new home, as Heather said, sometimes they don't put in the backyards, and sometimes there's a time frame where within 6 months you need to do that. So you need to be totally aware of the requirements of the HOA, and then estimate what it's going to cost to get that stuff done.
Mm-hmm. So there's HOA assessments on this list. What that is referring to is if you are buying in an established development that's been around for a while, you're going to want to check and ask them, do you have any known HOA assessments coming up? An HOA assessment is they don't have enough in the budget and they need to repair driveways or something. You might get hit with a one-time assessment. It could be a couple $100, it could be $5,000. So you want to really check.
Yeah, this is where a good agent, real estate agent, will help guide you through the whole process. Part of the due diligence in a contract to purchase, there's the lender, being able to get the loan, what conditions the house is, but one of it is you need to review the HOA documents and the covenants, CC&R documents. You need to read them, understand them, and you need to look at the budget from that HOA. Some HOAs have plenty of money in reserve to, if they needed to replace roofs on, their thing. that they could do that, and others are deficient. So you need to really understand the condition that HOA, financial condition that HOA is in, and the realtor will help you do that.
Thank you.
Very, very important.
That is very true. Okay, thank you. We can go to the next one. All right, we'll let George talk
What's
a little.
going on in the housing market today? I'm not sure where all of you are from, or I'm guessing most of you are from Southern Utah, which is, no, all of Utah. And Southern Utah is different than Northern Utah. And I be honest with you, I'm new in the state of Utah, but I am learning. I live in Cedar City. I do a lot of work. Our brokerage is here in St. George. So I'm learning more about Washington County, and it's a totally different market than Cedar City. The housing, the type of houses here is a big range from millions and millions of dollars to, you know, the more normal $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 homes. And in Cedar City, where I work, it's a little more, you know, it's a different market. It's a smaller town, it's more rural, and the pricing is a little bit lower. But it doesn't have everything St. George has. That's why I come down the hill to do a lot
or Salt Lake,
shopping, or Salt Lake, shopping
Yeah.
and entertainment and so forth. And it's changing all the time, you know, depending on what's going on in our national government, wars, rumors of wars. I mean, there's just a lot of things that change the housing market. The interest rates, the Fed. There's a lot of discussion going on with the head of the Fed about whether he needs to lower rates to make it more affordable for homes, because it's been really high for the last, I don't know, what, 3-4 years?
It has, yeah. And I get asked all the time what a rate's going to do, and I have the same answer every time. I would be a bazillionaire if I do. But one of the things that I feel very confident in saying is that once mortgage rates do start to come down, then I still here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh my gosh, so sorry. That was
I
really
thought I lost you for a
weird.
second.
Oh man.
That was scary. That was scary.
Anyways, okay, thank you. So prices have softened over the last 6 to 8 months, I would say.
They have, yeah.
And I would feel confident in saying that as soon as rates do start coming down, the housing prices are going to start going back up.
Yeah.
Because then you'll have a lot more competition of people wanting to buy.
Yeah, when prices go up, people want to start selling. So it becomes a seller's market. And supply and demand's a big thing. I mean, there's a lot of growth going on here in Washington County, and also in Cedar City and Iron County. We have a lot more homes coming on. So supply and demand, you know, you get oversupply. It's a kind of a buyer's market. It changes all the time, but it has been down a little bit right now. So it might be a good time, depending on your circumstances, for you to get down.
Yeah, you can, rates come down, you can refi. So anyways, we'll go into a little bit more of that in 2 more slides. But I've asked George to tell you a little bit about the townhouses that are available in Cedar Breaks.
Yeah, we have, it's a new project. It's Cedar City, there's several townhome developers there. It tends to be a townhome market for individuals who want to buy it for their first time into the market. It's also a good market for townhomes and condominiums for those who want to rent it out to Southern Utah University students, which is a big part of the market. We came in, the developer I work for, which is Sage Homes out of Northern Utah, combined with a local developer here, and bought 10 acres. And we are in phase 1 of our development. We have we have 2 things. We have 6 plexes, which are 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom, 1.5 baths, with two covered parking spots. Then we have 5 plexes that are 3-bedroom, 2.5 baths with garages. So we built 10 of the garage units, and they're all sold out in the last couple months. And we started off with 2 6-plexes, and those have sold out. We have 2 more 6-plexes under construction, and will be ready in the next 60 to 90 days. And then we'll move on to phase 2. But Cedar City is a good market for first-time home buyers, and these are priced really well compared to even some of the other developers. We've priced the product where you can get into a 2-bedroom townhome for $240,000.
You have 2 of them still available, or
We do. We have
240 range?
Yeah, we have 2 3-bedrooms in units that are available right now in the first building, and they are selling for $260,000, $265,000 for an in unit.
They're very nice inside, and they're beautiful inside. So, okay, and then we've got, like I said, so there's quite a few more coming available in 60 to 90 days. So thank you. So and that actually I think is the next slide, and so we can.
We did have one question come in.
Okay.
From Nicole, if you purchase when interest rates are high, are there any limits to when you can refinance if rates drop?
No, there are no limits, and I do watch all of my loan rates for my members, and there will be times that I will reach out to you and say, hey, it is time. I can refinance you to a lower interest rate with little to no closing costs. So I'll weigh it out, your individual situation, your loan value, things like that with the information that I have on hand, and try and find a lower rate with, like I say, little to no loan costs, so that you can keep moving in the right direction, but not setting yourself backwards with loan costs.
Awesome, thank you. All right, I'll move to the next slide.
Yeah, you can go on more. Sorry, we kind of skipped or we moved ahead.
Oh, moved ahead, okay.
Oh, no, you go to Y now. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Okay, I get asked all the time, when is the right time to buy a home? And my answer is always the same. The right time is when you are ready. Worrying about what the market's doing, worrying about what interest rates are doing, they're going to do their thing. And as we talked about a little bit ago, they kind of go hand in hand. So if you're waiting for rates to come down, now you're missing out on, one, all the equity that you would have been earning while you're waiting for rates to come down. But now the house prices are going to go up. So anyway, so wait. George is yes.
Yeah, every individual has different requirements and needs and so forth. So it's really an individual thing, but you need to make sure you're ready to do it. And that's why you need to have some, consulting done and all that stuff done in preparation, because you don't want to get into something. But you always have opportunities to refinance. I mean, when rates come down, you can even buy points down in some cases. So yeah, there's when you're ready, it's time. When it's right for you, it's the right time.
Okay. I think now we're to questions now, and I would love to answer any. George would love to answer any that you may have, and thank you very much for attending today and for the great questions that we have had.
Yeah, it looks like we're clear, but they can always reach out. Here, I can even switch the slide. They can always reach out to you, Heather or George, and if they have questions as well.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to provide anyone who would like some statistical information on home prices and how many have sold, how long they've been on the market, both Iron County and Washington County. If you want to shoot Heather your email address, she'll get it to me, and I'll shoot off that information, so at least you'll have something to see where the market is right now, and where it's been in the last year, and where hopefully where it could be going. But it'd be helpful information to have. I'd be happy to send it to you.
Okay.
Great. I was also gonna, oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say thank you, and then you are gonna send out a recording of this to the attendees?
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say. For everyone who registered, they'll get a link. So if someone, if they registered and weren't able to make it, we'll send them a link. They can rewatch it, and anyone who was here can also just watch it again, go over different sections maybe just to get clear on it. But yeah, that'll hopefully go out either later today or early tomorrow.
I appreciate you. Thank you for your help on that. And thank you, George, for being here with me today. Your input is amazing and I appreciate it. So thank you, everyone.
Have a great day.